Hello and welcome to the Dr. Sleep channel. This one deserves a little bit of an explanation. One of my favorite movies is The Dead Poets Society with Robin Williams. And the late Robin Williams. Miss his acting very much. The Dead Poets Society was a movie that impacted me and many other people, and also, in my opinion, revitalized the art of poetry. I've always liked poetry and was a writer of poetry myself. So when creating this channel, thought it might be interesting to read all the poetry from the Dead Poets Society, and that's what this is. So for those of you that enjoyed the movie and the poems, here they are. All the poems from the Dead Poets Society. She Walks in Beauty by Lord Byron. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. One shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace which waves in every raven tress, or softly lightens o'er her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express how pure, how dear their dwelling place. And on that cheek and o'er that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, but tell of days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. The Ballad of William Bloat, Raymond Calvert. In a mean abode on Scanskill Road lived a man named William Bloat. He had a wife, the curse of his life, who continually got his goat. So one day at dawn, with her nightdress on, he cut her bloody throat. With a razor gash he settled her hash. Oh, never was a crime so quick, but the drip, drip, drip on the pillow slip of her lifeblood made him sick. And the pool of gore on the bedroom floor grew clotted and cold and thick. And yet he was glad he had done what he had, when she lay there stiff and still. But a sudden awe of the angry law struck his heart with an icy chill. So to finish the fun so well begun, he resolved himself to kill. He took the sheet from the wife's cool feet and twisted it into a rope, and he hanged himself from the pantry shelf. 'Twas an easy end, let's hope. In the face of death, with his last breath, he solemnly cursed the Pope. But the strangest turn to the whole concern is only just beginning. He went to hell, but his wife got well, and she's still alive and sinning. For the razor blade was German made, but the sheet was Belfast linen. The Prophet by Abraham Cowley. Teach me to love. Go, teach thyself more wit. I am chief professor of it. Teach craft to Scots and thrift to Jews. Teach boldness to the stews. In tyrants' courts teach supple flattery. Teach Jesuits that have traveled far to lie. Teach fire to burn and winds to blow. Teach restless fountains how to flow. Teach the dull earth fixed to abide. Teach womankind inconstancy and pride. See if your diligence here will useful prove, but prithee teach not me to love. The God of love, if such a thing there be, may learn to love from me. He who does boast that he has been in every heart since Adam's sin. I'll lay my life, nay, mistress aunt, that's more. I'll teach him things he never knew before. I'll teach him a receipt to make, words that weep and tears that speak. I'll teach him sighs like those in death, at which the souls go out too with the breath. Still the soul stays, yet still does from me run, as light and heat does with the sun. 'Tis I who loves Columbus, and 'tis I who must new worlds in it descry, rich worlds that yield of treasure more than it has been known before. And yet, like his, I fear, my fate must be to find them out for others, not for me. Me times to come, I know it shall love's last and greatest prophet call, But ah, what's this, if she refuse to hear the whole doctrines of my muse? If it my share the prophet's fate must come, hereafter fame, here martyrdom. The road not taken, Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same, and both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. To the virgins to make much of time, Robert Herrick. Gather ye rosebuds while ye may, old time is still a-flying, and this same flower that smiles today, tomorrow will be dying. The glorious lamp of heaven, the sun, the higher he's a-getting, the sooner will his race be run, and nearer he's to setting. That age is best which is the first, when youth and blood are warmer, but being spent the worse and worst, time still succeed the former. Then be not coy, but use your time, and while ye may, go merry, for having lost but once your prime, you may forever tarry. Vachel, Lindsay, the Congo. Fat black bucks in a wine barrel room, barrel house kings with feet unstable, sagged and reeled and pounded on the table, beat an empty barrel with the handle of a broom, hard as they were able, boom, 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 with a silk umbrella and the handle of a broom, boom-lay, 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 boom. Then I had religion. Then I had a vision. I could not turn from their revel in derision. Then I saw the Congo creeping through the black, cutting through the jungle with a golden track. Then along that river bank 1,000 miles, tattooed cannibals danced in files. Then I heard the boom of the bloodlust song, and a thigh bone beating on a tin pan gong, and blood screamed the whistles and the fifes of the warriors. Blood screamed the skull-faced lean witch doctors. Whirl ye the deadly voodoo rattle, harry the upland, steal all the cattle. Rattle, 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 bing, boom-lay, 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 boom. Roaring epic ragtime tune, from the mouth of the Congo to the mountains of the moon. Death is an elephant, torch-eyed and horrible, foam-flanked and terrible. Boom, steal the pygmies, boom, steal the Arabs, boom, kill the white man. Like the wind, ho, 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 listen to the yell of Leopold's ghost, burning in hell for his hand-maimed host. Hear how the demons chuckle and yell, cutting his hands off down to hell. Listen to the creepy proclamation, blown through the layers of the forest nation, blown past the white ant's hill of clay, blown past the marsh where the butterflies play. Be careful what you do, or mumbo-jumbo, god of the Congo, and all of the other gods of the Congo. Mumbo-jumbo will hoodoo you. Mumbo-jumbo will hoodoo you. Mumbo-jumbo will hoodoo you. Wild crap shooters with the whoop and call danced the juba in their gambling hall, and laughed fit to kill, and shook the town, and guyed the policemen, and laughed them down, with a boom-lay, 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 boom. Then I saw the Congo creeping through, the black cutting through the jungle with a golden track. A Negro fairyland swung into view, a minstrel river where dreams come true. The ebony palace soared on high, through the blossoming trees to the evening sky. The inlaid porches and casement shone with gold and ivory and elephant bone. And the black crowd laughed till their sides were sore at the baboon butler in the agate door, and the well-known tunes of the parrot band that trilled on the bushes of that magic land. troop of scar-faced witchmen came through the agate doorway in suits of flame, yea, long-tailed coats with a gold-leaf crust, and hats that were covered with diamond dust. And the crowd in the court gave a whoop and a call, and danced the juba from wall to wall. But the witchmen suddenly stilled the throng, with a stern cold glare and a stern old song. Mumbo jumbo will hoodoo you. Just then from the doorway, as fat as shoots, came the cakewalk princes in their long red coats, shoes with a patent leather shine, and tall silk hats that were red as wine. And they pranced with their butterfly partners there, coal-black maidens with pearls in their hair, knee-skirts trimmed with the jessamine sweet, and bells on their ankles and little black feet. And couples railed at the chant and the frown of the witchmen, lean and laughed them down. Oh, rare was the revel and well worth while that made those glowering witchmen smile. The cakewalk royalty then began to walk for a cake that was tall as a man, to the tune of boom-lay, boom-lay, boom, while the witchmen laughed with a sinister air and sang with the scalawags prancing there. Walk with care, or Mumbo-Jumbo, god of the Congo, and all the other gods of the Congo. Mumbo-Jumbo will hoodoo you. Beware, beware, walk with care. Boom-lay, 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 boom. Boom-lay, 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 boom. Boom-lay, 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 boom. Oh, rare was the revel and well worthwhile that made those glowering witchmen smile. A good old Negro in the slums of the town preached at a sister for her velvet gown, howled at her brother for his low-down ways, his prowling, guzzling, sneak-thief days, beat on the Bible till he wore it out, starting the Jubilee revival shout. And some had visions as they stood on chairs and sang of Jacob and the golden stairs. And they all repented, 1,000 strong, from their stupor and savagery and sin and wrong, and slammed their hymn books till they shook the room with glory, 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 and boom, boom, boom. Then I saw the Congo creeping through the black, cutting through the jungle with a golden track. Then the gray sky opened like a new rent veil, and showed the apostles with their coats of mail. In bright white steel they were seated round, and their fire eyes watched where the Congo wound. And the 12 apostles from their thrones on high thrilled all the forest with their heavenly cry. Mumbo-Jumbo will die in the jungle, never again will he hoodoo you, never again will he hoodoo you. Then along that river bank 1,000 miles, the vine-snared trees fell down in files. Pioneer angels cleared the way for a Congo paradise for babes to play, for sacred capitals, for temples clean. Gone were the skull-faced witch-men lean. There where the wild ghost gods had wailed. 1,000,000 boats of the angels sailed, with oars of silver and prows of blue, and silken pennants that the sun shone through. 'Twas a land transfigured. 'Twas a new creation. Oh, a singing wind swept the Negro nation, and on through the backwoods clearing flew. Mumbo-Jumbo is dead in the jungle. Never again will he hoodoo you. Never again will he hoodoo you. Redeemed were the forests, the beast, and the men, and only the vulture dared again, by the far, lone mountains of the moon, to cry in the silence the Congo tune. Mumbo-Jumbo will hoodoo you. Mumbo-Jumbo will hoodoo you. Mumbo-Jumbo will hoodoo you. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? William Shakespeare. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor loose possession of that fair thou oughtst, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growst. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. William Shakespeare, Midsummer's Night Dream, Act 2, Scene 1, Over hill, over dale. Over hill, over dale, through bush, through briar, over park, over pale, thorough flood, thorough fire, I do wander everywhere. Swifter than the moon's sphere, and I serve the fairy queen, to dew her orbs upon the green. The cowslips tall her pensioners be, in their gold coats spots you see, those be rubies, fairy favors, in those freckles live their savors. I must go seek some dewdrops here, and hang a pearl in every cowslip's ear. Farewell, thou lob of spirits, I'll be gone. Our queen and all her elves come here anon. Ulysses, Alfred Lord Tennyson. Little profits that an idle king by this still hearth among these barren crags, matched with an aged wife, I meet and dole unequal laws unto a savage race, that hoard and sleep and feed and know not me. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees all times I have enjoyed. Greatly have suffered, greatly both with those that loved me, and alone on shore, and when through scuddling drifts the rainy Hyades vex the dim sea, I am become a name. For always roaming with a hungry heart, much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments, myself not least, but honored of them all, and drunk delight of battle with my peers, far on the ringing plains of windy Troy. I am a part of all that I have met, yet all experience is an arch wherethrough gleams that untraveled world whose margin fades forever and forever when I move. How dull it is to pause, to make an end, to rust unvarnished, not to shine in use, as though to breathe were life, life piled on life, were all too little, and of one to me little remains, but every hour is saved from that eternal silence something more, a bringer of new things, and vile it were, for some 3 sums to store and hoard myself, in this grey spirit yearning and desire, to follow knowledge like a sinking star, beyond the utmost bound of human thought. This is my son, mine own Telemachus, to whom I leave the sceptre and the isle, well loved of me, discerning to fulfill this labor by slow prudence to make mild a rugged people, and through soft degrees subdue them to the useful and the good. Most blameless is he, centered in the sphere of common duties, decent not to fail, in offices of tenderness and pay, meet adoration to my household gods. When I am gone, he works his work, I mine. There lies the port, the vessel puffs her sail, there gloom that dark broad seas, my mariners, souls that have toiled and wrought and thought with me, that ever with a frolic welcome took the thunder and the sunshine, and opposed free hearts, free foreheads. You and I are old. Old age hath yet his honor and his toil. Death closes all, but something ere the end. Some work of noble note may yet be done, not unbecoming men that strove with gods. The lights began to twinkle from the rocks. The long day wanes, the slow moon climbs the deep. Moans round with many voices, come, my friends, 'tis not too late to seek a newer world. Push off, and sitting well in order smite the sounding furrows, for my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset and the baths of all the western stars until I die. It may be that the gulfs will wash us down, may be we shall touch the happy isles, and see the great Achilles whom we knew. Though much is taken, much abides, and though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, one equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Walden, by Henry David Thoreau. True our converse a stranger is to speech. Only the practiced ear can catch the surging words that break and die upon thy pebbled lips. Thy flow of thought is noiseless as the lapse of thy own waters, wafted as is the morning mist up from thy surface, so that the passive soul doth breathe it in, and is infected with the truth thou wouldst express. E'en the remotest stars have come in troops, and stoop low to catch the benediction of thy countenance. Oft as the day came round, impartial has the sun exhibited himself before thy narrow skylight, nor has the moon for cycles failed to roll this way, as oft as elsewhither, and tell thee of the night. No cloud so rare but hitherward it stalked, and in thy face looked doubly beautiful. Oh, tell me what the winds have writ for the last 1,000 years on the blue vault that spans thy flood, or sun transferred and delicately reprinted for thy own private reading somewhat within these latter days I've read. But surely there was much that would have thrilled the soul which human eye saw not. I would give much to read that first bright page, wet from the virgin press, when Eurus and Boreas and the host of airy quilled drivers first dipped their pens in mist. O Captain, my Captain, by Walt Whitman. O Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every wrack, the prize we sought is won. The port is near, the bells I hear, the people all exulting, while fellow eyes the steady keel of the vessel grim and daring. But oh heart, 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 oh the bleeding drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. O Captain, my Captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung, for you the bugle trills, for you bouquets and ribboned wreaths, for you the shores are crowding. For you they call, the swaying masts, their eager faces turning. Here, Captain, dear father, this arm beneath your head. It is some dream that on the deck you've fallen cold and dead. My captain does not answer, his lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm, he has no pulse nor will. The ship is anchored, safe and sound, its voyage closed and done. From fearful trip the victor ship comes in with object won. Exult, O shores, and ring, O bells, but I with mournful tread walk the deck, my captain lies, fallen, cold, and dead. And as a special bonus for those of you that watched the movie, the character Todd stood before the class and quoted this poem that he wrote kind of on the spot. And here it is. I close my eyes and this image floats beside me, the sweaty-toothed madman with a stare that pounds my brains. His hands reach out and choke me, and all the time he's mumbling, truth like a blanket that always leaves your feet cold. You push it, stretch it, it will never be enough. Kick it, beat it, it will never cover any of us. From the moment we enter crying to the moment we leave dying, it will just cover your face as you wail and cry and scream. All right, so that's it. All the poems featured in the Dead Poets Society movie, which I enjoyed very much. I hope that some of you enjoyed it. I am thinking about doing more poetry on the channel, reading different poems. I haven't decided quite yet how to do that, but this was a beginning of sorts. If people seem to enjoy it, I will do more poetry on the channel. But thank you for listening, and I hope everyone has a great day.